Those who put themselves on the line to help with the uplifting of fallen humanity during this time of turmoil will be remembered. Keep that in mind. Those who have the courage to stand against the odds and tell the truth in this time of turmoil, where the dark priesthood and vampires are at the height of their power and are attacking anything that deals with the activation of the pineal gland, or with justice, or with that which is right, or anything that's de jour, or anything that is Moorish. Keep in mind, those who aid in the help of uplifting fallen humanity will be remembered. Those who aid in the help of uplifting fallen humanity will be remembered.
These footprints don't need no consent. Lord of the earth, sea, and continents. The God see consonants as condiments. Sprinkle balls with special sauce and common sense. The Moorish legacy is prominent. Universal tongue DNA is dominant. The domicile is the earth lying reticent. Till the feds emerge, approach with proper etiquette. We the children of Baka and Saba. From the valley Indus Kush to Sri Lanka. From Nubia to East Oakland to the Bahamas. The legacy legendary, though the trauma has placed a pause on the greatness like a comma.
No.
Moorish legacy.
Who I am.
Moorish legacy.
I know.
Moorish legacy.
Who I am.
Aladdin, Aladdin, genie in a bottle. A lamp light shines and accelerates like a throttle. We took the fire from the meta and coddled the world through Hebrew milk as it toddled. Phoenician tongue climbed like the ladder's rungs. The plumb line hovered over water, then it hung. Aramaic, Greek, Sanskrit for the Hindi. Now the only Latin on Balenciaga and Fendi. Non-affiliated indie. Pendant is the ball, so they breathe steadily. The word when spoken can be life-giving or degenerating handy. Is a pen standing upright manly, but not pee-haul, whether big or small. Ye still must ball. He rise up tall, she grows it all. Protect with pause, game goes, don't stall. Flame on, yes y'all.
I know.
Moorish legacy.
Who I am.
Moorish legacy.
I know.
Moorish legacy.
Who I am.
When your feet on concrete, you stand calmly. No dirt bags or scabs can harm thee. When flesh is in the air, all the vultures start swarming. They eat meat and greed, don't flee. Instead, stand middle of the street, test me. The words that you utter with conviction, don't stutter. If them want war, it's given. From a Merkaba-like body prism. And the shift they can feel when it hit them. It might make the heart beat a new rhythm. They can fall down and give thanks for what has been given. Moorish legacy is the land that we live in. Moorish legacy is the land that we live in.
Those who put themselves
Peace. We are live this evening, and I must first apologize. I was just testing my Zoom earlier and I turned it off. And peace, Harmony. Peace, that crazy. Peace, Sage. I wasn't even trying to go live. It's peace 9/11. It's just that I tried to go live on Zoom last night and it kept saying I was over some limit and some error code. And so I waited until today because I said maybe it's something a daily thing. So I waited till today and I was like, let me just test and see if this thing is going to let me go. And it let me go through. And I was like, okay, cool. Stopped it on Zoom and look at my phone later on. And it's saying I did a 4-hour live and shit. I had like 3 people unsubscribe. I guess people get mad thinking, who knows? Shit. Fuck it. But either way, that wasn't intentional. But and I'm gonna take that down. But I appreciate y'all attempting to watch, whoever did. But we are official this evening, and we're not gonna be long. This is gonna be a unique broadcast because you see the title, Milan Fashion Week, Art, Metaphysics, and Astrology. And I'm going to try to make sense of all this. Peace, Pandora. I'm trying to buy some time and let a few more people get in before I get going. So, people will know what's going on. But I guess I can give some of the background. I did a live a few months ago called Astrology of Hip Hop with a homeboy of mine named Dab Dunlap. Now, we met about 6 or 7 years ago. And I determined or found out that he does, he's a producer. He produces music. And, I'm as I said in one of my rhymes along ago, what did I say? I'm a writer who happens to rap, a reader who happens to write. So I'm a student. I'm a learner, and that so happens to lead into writing and being an MC. Peace, Natalia. So I reached out to him and we hit it all because we both into studying the type of stuff we study. And we decided later on to form this little group called Think Music. And thank you, That Crazy. And so we decided, let's do something with this because he makes he has a sound that is that meshes with the way I present my art. And so we've done several projects, and tonight I want to incorporate into our discussion a project that we did called Global Reset, and it was in 2020. And of course, it was inspired by all of the medical stuff that was going on in 2020. And we felt like it was a pivotal time, which it was. If you go back, you remember at the start of 2020 kicked off with the news about Kobe Bryant. And if you think about 2024, how crazy this year has been, it kicked off with Cat Williams. It was this, and it's interesting. It was Virgos. Kobe Bryant is a Virgo sun. Cat Williams is a Virgo sun. Peace, Faye. Good to hear from you. And so both of these years has had all these magnanimous things unfold. It's interesting. I didn't think about that till right now. That these 2 years jumped off with these major Virgo influences. And so we did this project Global Reset, and one of the songs on there is called Milan Fashion Week. We've been talking for a long time that I need to explain to people what they're listening to when they hear. And I wanted to have him on here, but
I just decided to do this a few minutes ago. So this is just last minute. We're going to come back. I'm going to have him on here in the future, the near future, and explain our process because it's a magical, metaphysical thing. But I'm going to give you, I'm going to jump into a little bit of it right now. What happens is I'm a writer. I don't like anybody telling me what to write. And I like to be in control of everything. And so when we started working, I used to come up with the titles. He would send me a beat. If I wanted to write to something, I would come up with the title for what the song was going to be. Something magical happened one day because he have all these wild titles for he gives titles to his tracks when he's producing the beat. He gives it his own title because he's always has in the back of his mind, well, what if I make me a beat album, or instrumental album? So he's got to have these titles. My higher self spoke to me one day and said, let him, whatever title he gives you, write around the title. Because I feel like I can write to anything, And I said, okay, instead of me trying to control the creative process, let's let the magic of whatever his mind was channeling when he decided to title this beat, and he's the one who crafted the beat. Well, instead of you changing, just follow what he had, these crazy ass titles, and so he came up with this concept called an opus. And an opus is where we have several songs inside of one song, and the beats change throughout. And it's like you going through a story. Okay. And so we create these things called, well, it's his idea. And then I add the lyrics to it, these opuses, And so this particular title, Milan Fashion Week, is actually an opus because it's 3 songs in one song. Now, the title, Milan Fashion Week, what do you do with that? How do you sit with that and craft that into a song? Well, this is how my mind, this is the metaphysics of that's infused into art. I started using my imagination to think, okay, Milan Fashion Week, this is this big fashion gathering that happens, and it's really, in my mind, I think it's got a lot of dark energy around it. So what I did was created this situation in my head that it would be metaphorical representation of, if you want to say, melanated people, but also if you go back to my video about the astrology of Black people, Venus and melanin, how I make the connection between the planet Venus and all of its energetic expressions and melanin, okay, which would suggest then that melanin in itself is feminine, okay? So I took that theme of Milan Fashion Week and made it a story about a woman who represents a people. And the song is showing how these people come to this event, but this woman is malnourished. She's been abused, but they want her to walk across this stage and entertain them. And they're sitting there snapping pictures and gawking and judging the way she looks and judging her fashion or the way she's wearing the clothes, the way she's everything about her. They're critiquing it and they're objectifying her. And it is representing melanated people, or if we want to be more specific, Moorish people, who have been ostracized, who have been critiqued, who have been overlooked, who have been abandoned. And when you listen to, and I want y'all to bear with, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna play this song, and I know this might turn off some people, but if you don't, hey, it's free. You can sign off. But I've been wanting to do this, and I want to break this down. Now, I've given you the introduction. I want you to really listen to what I'm saying. I want you to listen to how he laid this bed of music. Okay. The music, he gave it the title Milan Fashion Week, and he needs to be here to really, but I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I feel the way he sampled and laid this stuff out. It sounds like you're in Italy. You're gonna hear the samples playing, and you're gonna hear the and we at the beginning I found a clip of some fashion mogul, and we put that at the beginning, and we pieced this song together. Him and Raleigh, me and Dallas. This is pieced together. This is not sitting down in some studio. This is he came up with the track. He gave it the title, and then my brain started going like, oh shit, she's the divine feminine energy, that is being I can't say certain words on, you get flagged, but who has been abused, put it that way. And you're going to hear this story twist and turn. And you got to really I wish I could go bar by bar and break down, because it's very laden with metaphor. This cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, worn by an old Yemeni Wal Salatin. This cloth represents this skin, similar to Egyptian cotton. I don't know if Egyptian cotton is considered to be fine fabric. I got a couple of Egyptian cotton shirts, and they don't fade. You take care of them, and the colors will hold in them. They don't fade because they just hold the dye, I guess. So that's a metaphor for the skin. This cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, worn by an old Yemeni Wal Salatin. Wow. Okay. Harmony said, I literally journaled about being of a special cloth today. Wow. So if y'all bear with me, I want to play this. And before I do, let me say this. The times we're in right now, I'm encouraging the people I'm working with to double down on their passions. Double down on their art. In the middle of the word earth, you have art. There's a reason why the troubadours came up and wanted to introduce art into Europe. And the troubadours arguably are an extension of the Moors. Themes of Venus. There you go, that crazy. Because they wanted to speak to the soul. They were trying to clean the Aegean stables. They needed to, it was through music, the Moorish dance, which elements of that is the river dance. And we see it, how it spread out, these using art to connect to the soul. Okay. And so your art is not just you making music. It is not just you singing or dancing. It's not just your visual art. It is whatever you do that makes you lose time and that makes your soul sing is art. That's what art is. Because art is the heart of the word earth. And you already know you've done this before, seen it. You flip the word earth around and you've got heart. It's that they're anagrams of each other. But in the middle is the art. Okay. And the art is the ability to unite energies beyond with the soul that has been encapsulated in this reality. And I think I'm encouraging people that is how you fight. If you want to use such a word as fight, if you want to use such a word as battle or combat certain forces, you do not try to use a football analogy. If I have a strong defense and I have a great running game, and I'm going up against a team that has a dynamic quarterback who loves to throw the ball, I'm not going to abandon my game plan to try to fight how or play their game. If their game is throwing the ball, okay, I'm going to play defense like I do, okay? And when I get the ball, I'm going to run the ball and I'm going to run the clock. I'm going to control the clock because that's my game. Their game is to throw the ball 3 out of, on first down, on second down, on third down. They throwing, which the clock don't run much. But my game is I run the ball. I'm using this analogy to say it's important to not let the same institution that you are looking to oppose to choose the way that you're going to oppose it. Because you are playing their game. That's occult science. 101. You control the game and make you think that what you're doing is really doing something when they designed the whole stadium. So I'm encouraging people to not put your passions on the side right now because I got to deal with this, which that's magic in itself. Somebody has figured out how to redirect your attention to what they want your attention directed at. Now they control your time and they control your energy. So what your soul was encoded with to unfold in this reality is what you're supposed to be doubling down on. And it really ain't even no fight. It really ain't even no battle. We use those words, but that's a duality trap in itself. What you're doing is you are being a creator. You're creating the world to come by just releasing what's in you. Okay. Now, with that said, I don't went all on down, all the way around Robin Hood's barnyard. I'm going to put this track on Milan Fashion Week, and I hope y'all enjoy it. And then we'll come back and we'll chat a little bit, and we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it.
This cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, worn by an old Yemeni while salatin. The 5 pillars became the 5-finger discount. Stolen by lost souls, couldn't find a way out. Fortunately, she found fine linens in the 9th inning. A Roman centaur with his cohorts tried to tear her garments apart. Etruscan habit, ascot, like a ship captain, dry scotch. Rumor is she got family ties in Suma and Tulsa, okay, minus the sooner. Under the moonlit night, we serenade the goddess. Crooner, sidebar, the devil can't hurt you, only make you harm yourself. Kruger, mountain cougars, roam the west side of NC. Rugers, we're no longer juniors, we are seniors in our class. Eons have passed, shards of broken glass come together like satin threads. Milan Fashion Week. Yeah. On runways, guns blaze, cannons and Nikons place images in cage. Onlookers express fake rage, so concerned about the fact she hasn't eaten in days. The price of high fashion. Eastern Germany handler keeps the dame dashing. Several factions clashing. They all want in on the action. Between wardrobe changes, the weight of the world leaves certain anguish. Jet setters dine on, smoked salmon, rice, pilaf in Milan. Red wine, dry blood drips on. Milan Fashion Week. Drugged in a residence, found face down and Trueless left no evidence. At least they thought so. They overlooked the colored peacoat, the last trace of a royalty. The pedigree is obvious, a chaos is orderly. Awful paradox, still she loyally dredges on with the soil and flees. Plutonian, scorpionic is a jabs. Underworld, chthonic just below the Ave. Ma'ati-in, Sabat-in-nim, the bottom at the top again. Question is the ration fair you portion them? Probably not. Milan Fashion Week. She's so angry, that's how media label her. When she finally starts to stir, when her life's on review, the synagogue of Satan sits on the front pew. Always got a hand in every plot, hand in every pot, hand in the ass, prostate or not. Prostrate she will not. Apocalypse, this is her shot to balance scales. This won't be one hell of a story to tell. Milan Fashion Week. Milan Fashion Week. The best stories full of irony. Until the end it seemed that the victor would sink his ivories deeper in the flesh. Vital force sucked until there is nothing left. But then dramatic change ushers in a new era. The main character's revelation, no mascara. Under the gorgeous skin and beautiful grin lurks a fire that burns hotter than the scorching sand of arid desert land. In quiet, her soul draws nearer. She's surrounded by several mirrors. Through anger, sadness, and streaming tears, she cries, she scries. Divinating, there is no fear, just focused eyes. Kali Yuga, no more Uber. Instead, sweet chariots fly that are made from fire. So when chambers echo, she reply. Her fruit hangs low enough to reach high. Feet earth and head is sky. Arms stretch, oceans comply. Winds blow by, rustle leaves on trees. Every root, every stem through her breathes. Through every womb she conceives. Every thought that comes and leaves is hers. So with the goddess we confer. And when we concur, it's all beautiful. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now suitable. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now suitable. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now suitable. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now.
All right. So that's what it is. So um Milan Fashion Week. Everybody loves to watch you perform, but don't really care about your well-being. And with that understanding, and we look at where our attention is being driven right now, people expressing fake rage, fake outrage, you know. But at the same token, me being a parent, me being a person who's living this, and a husband, a son, I got people I care about. The last thing I want to see is chaos for them. But you heard me use the words Kali Yuga in the song. You know, that crazy said I was gonna ask to listen again. Okay, I might run it again. I don't want to, you know, run people down with it, but I might run it back in a minute. But I think we're having to deal with the reality that we incarnated here at this time. Oh, thank you, Natalia. Okay, well, you know what? That's two. All right. Touch and agree. Okay, I'm gonna run it back. But we're having to face the reality that we incarnated at this time for a reason. That for such a time like this, where everything there's such upheaval, and we're having to consider the fact that there is no answer but chaos. And I've been, on the same token, I've been also stressing that there is no chaos, there is only order. So that's a paradox. And what I can make of this is that chaos is where the entropy and atrophy of a previous order meets the hypertrophy of a new order. Atrophy is the breakdown, trophy is heat. So it's the breakdown or the releasing of heat. Hypertrophy is the building. So when we in the weight room and we peace, tight necks, when we are building up muscle, it's hypertrophy. And when we don't have enough of the right nutrients and we just wasting away, that is hypertrophy. Always atrophy, I'm sorry. And all things are in a state of entropy. Everything is breaking down. Rita, focus your mind. Fuck a smoke detector. So the chaos is where those two are meeting, which means that there is nothing but order, because that's just a form of an order of, okay, one is breaking down and a new is forming, and it appears as though everything's in a disarray, everything's out of control, but it's a part of a bigger controlled divine order. What we may be experiencing now is a fear that comes along with experiencing the breakdown meeting up with the new order. And we may try to seek refuge with the things that were represented in the previous order, that the old order may be given us to tell us, this is how you advance yourself. This is how you free yourself. Look, this is how you do it. This is the way it's been done. You let me try to make more sense. And it's all good, Rita G. You know, it's all good. But I keep talking about the relationship between Pluto and Uranus. I wonder if I'm explaining what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna put it this way. They met up in 1965 and 66. You got to think what was going on in the world. Star Trek, everything is up for contemplation. Everything is data. Okay. You had Star Trek comes out in 1966. Their tagline, to boldly go where no man has gone before, and they're led by a man named Captain Kirk. James Tiberius Kirk. Tiber is in Rome. The river Tiber, that's Rome. James is the brother of Christ in the mythology. So they are saying he's our Christ figure. And Kirk means church. James, the new Holy See, the Roman Church. James Tiberius Kirk. And we're going to boldly go where no man has gone before. But we're going to give you a model. Look, 1966, the Black Panthers came out. Everybody thinks that the Black Panthers was, yes, they were feeding the babies and they were showing power and It was all created. It's not by happenstance that organization forms in 1966, and at the same time Star Trek. Now people will say they don't have nothing to do with each other. I say, well, but they do. Everything is related. So right now we find ourselves trying to go back to old playbooks, when even back then, the time that we're trying to go back to and reinvigorate that spirit was already outdated then. It was outdated then. Rod Serling came out in 1960 with Twilight Zone. The episode, The Big Tall Wish. You've got to watch the episode and slow it down and stop. Watch it on a DVD or whatever. You got to stop it and see these frames. Because if it shows up in a camera frame, it is meant for you to see. And if it goes fast, it's just meant to sit in your subconscious mind. So the main character's walking up to this apartment and they got a sign that says, "What is truth?" And you got to really be looking to catch it. What is truth? This is 1960. And the basic crux of that episode was the boys telling Bowley, you got to believe in the magic. It don't work if you don't believe, Bowley. I made the big tall wish. And he said, it's all we had then. It's all we had. That he was not just talking about this situation. He was talking about a macrocosm. It was all we had. Was what? Magic. Now, people got their different definitions of what that means. But Reader's Digest version, it is a realization that everything we're seeing, if we just want to be honest, is an illusion. It's an agreement between subtle forces that create everything we see in our reality. They all come from another world, a subtle world. And even as we get to that world, it ain't real. And as we keep going more smaller than that, it ain't real. The only thing that is real is the force itself. Everything else is emanations. So in order for me to change this reality, I at least got to step back to a world prior to this one to make this one how I want it to be. This man told this to the world in 1960 as the civil rights movement is getting underway. He gave the whole play. But we can't blame people because I'm able to have this because I have the luxury of being able to sit on a computer and get information and get books. And, you know, I'm not at some colored water fountain. So we don't say this stuff to talk shit about people who my mama, my daddy, my uncles, my aunts, you know, my grandmother, we're saying we have the ability to look back and to assess so that now we don't get trapped in the same game. You can't be the villain and then gonna give me the remedy to so-called defeat you. That common sense just don't line up. And maybe we're feeling the fear of the reality that the only thing potentially right that can come is something that we're not going to be able to see right now. And that is unnerving. The fear of the unknown. So it can have you lock on to something that is familiar. A familiar abuse sometimes can be better than an unfamiliar future. Why do people stay in abusive relationships? Because sometimes it's familiar. I'd rather be unhappy and suffering and in pain and living in my wounds. I'd rather deal with that and know that tomorrow's going to be messed up than to leave that and not know what tomorrow is, period. That's how we can become conditioned, and we can think that what we're doing is outside the box, and it's straight up in the box. Straight up in the box. And the same people who telling you that they're rolling with you, they sitting with everybody at Milan Fashion Week, looking as you walk across the stage, trying to see, I wonder if she's going to pass out. She hasn't eaten in 3 days. I wonder. Look at her ankles shaking. She's going to fall. Everybody's been sitting watching. So does it matter who's running Fashion Week? Is that going to change the fact that Fashion Week itself is an atrocity on humanity? I'm speaking in metaphor here. Or is the reality that the whole stage, the whole institution of Fashion Week, where we gawk at these humans like they're animals and objects. Is the reality that just has to go? How can you come if I'm in my mother's house and you come and you take my mother's house and you say, I'm going to run your mama's house. Now that other person, they ain't qualified to run your mama's house. I am. Choose me. The other one's like, no, I'm better to run your mama's house. And you're like, but hold on, it's my mother's. No, that's not the issue. That's not what the issue we need to focus on right now. We need to find the lesser of two evils. But at the core, we're not, how can I heal something by just putting different colored band-aids and different bandages, and underneath, I haven't gotten the ointments, the herbal compounds that's going to encourage the natural healing that's latent in me to turn on and heal. And all we're doing is I'm going to put a different patch on it. But at the core, I've had the luxury to discover that you told me I was brought to this house, and I've been able to figure out this is actually my mother's house. And there can't be any fair governance of my mother's house as long as you are running it. Now, I don't have the means right now to just completely kick you out, but I don't have to participate. I'm not going to participate when I know now that you can't have my best interests at heart, because you ain't even got to the point to even tell me the truth that my mama, this is really her house. So where we at right now, use astrology as a history book. It's one way you can use it. It's a history book. When you take the outer planets and you track their cycles, follow them back the last time they were at where they at right now and see what was going on. When Neptune was in Pisces last first, let me give you dates. We're talking mid 1800s. Okay. And what is going on is there is an occult revolution in the West. You got to think they've been going. You got to think the sun never sits on the British Empire because they had sentinels and everywhere. That meant no matter what time zone you were in, the British Empire was always lit because they were everywhere. That's what that means. The sun never sets on the British Empire. Okay. So you got to think in the mid 1800s, this is the British, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Spanish, and others, the Germans. They have gone around and been getting people's knowledge. Okay. And so, or we could say they've also been the custodians. Okay. So in the mid 1800s, this is being unfolded. Okay. So you got to think what's going on in the world in the mid 1800s. Okay. Now I'm going to give you something here to, and you're welcome, that crazy. We're watching this show called The Good Place on Netflix. We've gotten to season 3. Okay. And what happens is, if you one of these people who gonna be upset about somebody telling you, you might want to tune out, because you're supposed to watch these shows as a scientist and not get wrapped up in the. But what happens is, this guy Michael, who was a demon, who gets converted, I guess, and you listen to the name Michael, Mikael, who's an archangel. He starts working with these 4 characters, and I think they represent the 4 elements. But he's working with these 4 characters, trying to help them be rehabilitated so they can make it into the good place, because they were sentenced to the bad place. He's helping them. It's called The Good Place. That's the name of it, The Good Place. So he goes down to earth, and he's helping to steer them in the right direction. He and this super intelligence called Janet. She's like a supercomputer, a cosmic computer. So she's the Akasha. She represents the Akashic records. Okay. Detailed files. So the guy from the bad place, is what they call it, he figures out what's going on. Listen to this. Just how they tell you things. He figures out how to build a backdoor portal to come down to earth himself. Listen to that. He figures out how to build a portal to come to earth so he can prevent these souls from evolving and going on to their higher cause or their next plateau in soul evolution. This book, I reference this many times, it's called The Secret Brotherhood. All right. And this is some lectures from Rudolf Steiner. And let me see if I can find this. What he says in here. He says, certain circles, he's writing this in the early 1900s. Certain circles in this materialistic age are striving to paralyze and make impossible all of humanity's spiritual development through causing people by their very temperament and character to reject everything spiritual and regard it as nonsense. Let me see. A stream of this kind, and it is already noticeable in some isolated individuals, will become deeper and deeper. A longing will arise for there to be a general opinion. Whatever is spiritual, whatever is of the spirit is nonsense, is madness. Endeavors to achieve this will be made by bringing out remedies to be administered by inoculation. Just as inoculations have been developed as a protection against diseases, only these inoculations will influence the human body in a way that will make it refuse to give a home to the spiritual inclinations of the soul. People will be inoculated against the inclination to entertain spiritual ideas. Endeavors in this direction will be made. Inoculations will be tested that already in children will make people lose any urge for spiritual life. This is, however, only one of the things connected with a more intimate knowledge that must come about in this 5th post-Atlantean age regarding the connection of these natural processes and remedies with the human organism. They will make their appearance among humanity at the appropriate time. The decisive question will be what succeeds first, whether the endeavors to let those spiritual premature births get into the hands of individuals for the furtherance of their own purposes, or whether knowledge about these things will come down in the right way for the welfare of humanity when the time is right. Skyrhyme, you kind of got to read between the lines. Inoculations 2020. Okay. Now what he's referring to this time, he says the second half of the 19th century was a very important time. Do you hear what was I just talking about? The mid 1800s. That's the mid part of the 19th century. The second half of the 19th century was a very important time. In one circle of our friends or another, I have often pointed out that the year 1841 was a crisis year, a year of decision. So what he's alluding to is that he's saying, okay, let me just read it. Between 1841 and 1879, the decision was to be taken as to whether a certain sum of spiritual wisdom could be brought to maturity in the spiritual world, so that formed the final third of the 19th century onwards, it could gradually seep down to the earth and enter human souls and there stimulate spiritual knowledge of the kind that today we call the knowledge of spiritual science. Such knowledge was only become possible since the final third of the 19th century. The purpose of those angeloid spirits between 1841 and 1879, listen, was to prevent the maturing over there in the spiritual world of what was supposed to seep down. For those spirits lost the war they waged for decades against the spirits of light. Okay, so on the series, this guy named Sean comes down to earth to prevent Michael's efforts to help these souls evolve. And he did it by coming through like a back door. Now, here's where Neptune comes in. Remember I said, watch the planets. Neptune now is where it was in the 1850s. Okay. And when Neptune moves through Pisces, which it is the modern ruler of, Neptune creates a thinning. And if you pay attention, you may see subtle indications of a thinning. I'm at the gym today on the step mill doing cardio, and I'm thinking about 13. Okay, because I got some a sigil I created around 13. I'm just thinking about it, looking at the TV up there, one of the TVs, somebody's, I think it was a tennis match or something, and behind the dude is the number 13. That quickly. Okay. I'm was just talking about Gabriel to something at the house. We were talking, I mentioned Gabriel, and it just so happened I went to pick up my children, and I met this little boy last year at my son's school. I went to go eat lunch with my son, and one of his little classmates was sitting there looking all sad. I was like, "What's wrong, buddy?" And he was looking all sad. I said, "You don't want to eat?" So you can't get any muscles if you don't eat. You got to eat so he started taking a couple bites, and turned out this little boy's name was Gabriel. And so you see, I got a song called Jabril. Go Listen closely to the stuff, you know. And so the next day so that's how I met the boy. So fast forward to this year, we're talking about something about Gabriel. And I show up at the school to pick my son up, and they're finishing recess. And so these classes go by. My son's class goes by, and then the little class goes by with the little boy Gabriel in it. And he's looking at me. He just clowning like a little child would do. But he's looking at me and going, Gabriel. Now, people who are not in this world would say, oh man, that's just a coincidence, you know. But people who have eyes to see and ears to hear, these are signs of you think something and it shows up, which is also giving us clues about manifestation. What you put too much thought into, you create resistance. When you're not trying, notice how the things show up when you're not trying too hard. Like I wasn't thinking, I want to see 13. It was just like, bam, here it goes. And it's showing how subtle the energy really is. And it's some amazing shit, because it shows you like, oh man, damn, are you making things too hard for yourself by you put so much desire around it that you make it difficult for it to flow. When here's something to where you ain't even trying, and bam, there it show up. I think of the name Gabriel, and here's a child named Gabriel shows up, giving you indications that the veil is thin. Okay. But it does not just work for good things, it works for malefics. And so the dude in the show who builds the portal to come through is showing what the energy is with Neptune and Pisces. And that same energy existed in the 1840s up 1850s. Because even before the planet moves in, the energy, these planets that are farther out, they're not like Mercury and Venus, where Mercury's fast, the moon is fast, the sun is fast. You feel Virgo when Virgo season hits. But with these outer planets, they move in waves. Their range is wide. They can be 10 degrees away from the actual ingress into the sign. They can be 15 degrees away. Let's say if they're in that last decan of the previous sign, so that would be 10. Let's say if they're within 10 of that next cusp, you feeling it. They're already applying. We've been feeling the influence of Pluto and Aquarius since it was at 20, 21 degrees of Capricorn. It's already been giving us indications of what it is bringing out in Aquarius. People's secrets coming out, things collapsing, things falling apart, And so a lot of religious institutions that now stand, telling one of my clients, the Mormons, it emerges out of this. It was earlier, like early 1800s, but it's still this basic time span, the 19th century, the Seventh Day Adventist. This is where they come out. The Theosophic, Anthroposophic, all types of organizations. And the main place was New York. That was the hub. They called it the burned over district, and everybody would come there. New York has always been magical. There's something magical in New York where you get there and it filters the energy out. from there. So this is what he's alluding to. Inoculation, nox means poison. So it means to poison. So he's saying that not even now, it didn't just start now with the event that began in 2020, but we're talking about this has been an ongoing thing. To slowly poison under the behest of preventing this evolution that is happening on a clock. Everything is in order. One of the things about astrology is it always reminds us that everything, even chaos, is orderly. That's one of the bars in the song. Her chaos is orderly. So if y'all still want to get another run, y'all still want to run back one more time and listen closely to what all is being said. You know, I wish I could stop it in between, and but I'm gonna play this one more time, and it's the backdrop. This is called Milan Fashion Week. It's what we call an opus. It's 3 songs in one, and it is a story. The Fashion Week is a juxtaposition with life. And the model is representing people who've been overlooked. It's representing the people who the current structure has been set up to prevent the evolutionary process. But the tables turn in the end. So we go one more time. We'll go with this Fashion Week. This cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, worn by an old Yemeni while salatin. The 5 pillars became the 5-finger discount. Stolen by lost souls, couldn't find a way out. Fortunately, she found fine linens in the 9th inning. A Roman centaur with his cohorts tried to tear her garments apart. Etruscan habit, ascot, like a ship captain, dry scotch. Rumor is she got family ties in Suma and Tulsa, okay, minus the Sooner. Under the moonlit night, we serenade the goddess. Crooner, sidebar, the devil can't hurt you, only make you harm yourself. Kruger, mountain cougars, roam the west side of NC. Rugers, we're no longer juniors, we are seniors in our class. Eons have passed, shards of broken glass come together like satin threads. Milan Fashion Week. Yeah. On runways, guns blaze, cannons and Nikons, place images in cage. Onlookers express fake rage, so concerned about the fact she hasn't eaten in days. The price of high fashion. Eastern Germany handler keeps the dame dashing. Several factions clashing. They all want in on the action. Between wardrobe changes, the weight of the world leaves certain anguish. Jet setters dine on, smoked salmon, rice, pilaf in meat lawn. Red wine, dry blood drips on. Milan Fashion Week. Drugged in a residence, found face down and Trueless left no evidence. At least they thought so. They overlooked the peacoat, colored peacoat, the last trace of a royalty.
The pedigree is obvious, her chaos is orderly. Awful paradox, still she loyally dredges on with the soil and flees. Plutonian, scorpionic, it's a jabs. Underworld, chthonic just below the Av. Ma'ati'in, Saba'anim, the bottom at the top again. Question is the ration fair you portion them? Probably not. Milan Fashion Week. She's so angry, that's how media label her. When she finally starts to stir, when her life's on review, the synagogue of Satan sits on the front pew. Always got a hand in every plot, hand in every pot, hand in the ass, prostate or not. Prostrate she will not. Apocalypse, this is her shot to balance scales. This won't be one hell of a story to tell. Milan Fashion Week. Milan Fashion Week. The best stories full of irony. Until the end it seemed that the victor would sink his ivories deeper in the flesh. Vital force sucked until there is nothing left. But then dramatic change ushers in a new era. The main character's revelation, no mascara. Under the gorgeous skin and beautiful grin lurks a fire that burns hotter than the scorching sand of arid desert land. In quiet, her soul draws nearer. She's surrounded by several mirrors. Through anger, sadness, and streaming tears, she cries, she scries. Divinating, there is no fear, just focused eyes. Kali Yuga, no more Uber. Instead, sweet chariots fly that are made from fire. So when chambers echo, she reply. Her fruit hangs low enough to reach high. Feet earth and head is sky. Arms stretch, oceans comply. Winds blow by, rustle leaves on trees. Every root, every stem through her breathes. Through every womb she conceives. Every thought that comes and leaves is hers. So with the goddess we confer. And when we concur, it's all beautiful. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now suitable. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now suitable. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now suitable. Milan Fashion Week, the throne is now.
My bad. Okay. Yeah, you can get that on Bandcamp. That crazy. It's you can find us on the Think Music on Bandcamp. It's part of a project called Global Reset, you know, and it's a EP, so it's 4 tracks. And the title track, of course, is Global Reset. I'm on. Let's do one more thing. Well, do y'all want to hear one more? Something else? The title track, Global Reset. I'm just going. Okay. If y'all want to hear it, I ain't trying to beat y'all down with he on here trying to another one of these teachers trying to sell their rap tape. But I've been okay, I'm gonna see if I got this loaded in here, if I got the actual track.
Venezuela is dumping the dollar when it comes to official exchange transactions and will now use the euro or other convertible currencies instead. The move is retaliation.
Tetragrammaton, Yod Hey Vahe. That's Big Ben and Lil Joe hit the hard way. Cross the tree of life, Sephiroth like Hardaway. Then find a lane where a three-way is a foreplay. The world to come is depending on what the words say. Holla Candy Man 5 times spirit parlays. In the play, overlay, overstand, underlay. Under may just be the top, that's what thought lay. That's the law of correspondence. Empty house, full mind, my thoughts is abundance. And pardon me, but the spirit is amongst us. And I'm about to pull libations, it's summons. Entities that are armies for my enemies. That are home, King Herod, he hardly understand what he's dealing with. I fight oddly. Southpaw catch a right jaw. This global reset. Respect for the downtrodden rejects. We wreck anything that we intersect. Reset globe trot, then we eject.
This is for Paul, Tony Grant, a former slave. Captive on his own land, skill hands made. Woodworker, craftsman, his trade. Paved way for new souls, a cascade. I'm a Robinson, Grant, Blakely, and Harrison. Bull guardians all around me form a garrison. So spirit bursts when I converse. I thirst to touch the same light that was usurped. The globe is a oil field that so fire feels. Balance on the flat plain where men mount bill. And dark produce the light that is in the arc seal. Like the ditty in the belly of the bow steel. I lie, although it seems that I comply. I am that I am, fire chariot ride. God guts on the inside. Flail and crook ringing bell fry.
This global reset. Respect for the downtrodden rejects. We wreck anything that we intersect. Reset globe trot, then we eject.
Venezuela is
Yeah, so that's Global Reset. That's the name of the project. And it's on Bandcamp. Bandcamp Think Music. And that's Think. This is how it's spell. You know, we had to put a little flavor on the spelling. Thank you, Journey. Thank you, Faye. Thank you, Sky Ryan. Thank you, That Crazy. Thank you, Peace, Golden Timeline. Yeah, where's our little thing at? Because we gotta be creative with the spelling. I don't think I got the logo on here. But it's Think, THINK, and music is spelled MUZIC. Think Music. But you can find it on Bandcamp. It should still be up there. We got a lot of music up there, to be honest. Well, a nice little bit. I just don't say anything about it because, let me see if I can find a link. Yeah, I'm in the mood. I want to play something else. That's the Bandcamp. thinkmusic.bandcamp.com. We did another opus called Clarity Insight, and we've been wanting to do this to introduce just this I got to get Dap on here. I got to give him a heads up and get him on here so we can talk about just, how we do this. I think it's magical. Let me see, do I have that in mind? Oh, I got it. Okay. I want to play y'all. If y'all with it, I'll play y'all this Clarity Insight. It's an opus too. We feel like it's unique that it's not a lot of people. I don't know if anybody else doing nothing like this. Where we give you, I can't move that one. It's hold on. I gotta get an MP3 of this because it won't let me. Bear with me 1 second. I gotta find this Clarity Insight. I gotta get an MP3. I'm gonna download this to my computer real quick, and then I'm gonna snatch it and pull it over here, and we'll see what's up. I got too much on my computer. It's moving slow. There we go. All right. See what we got. And this is another one where he gave me the title and I just wrote, I don't even know how to count bars. So I just write. I write until the beat goes off. And this is gives me my creative writing outlet. I want to find. We're looking for us an affordable engineer. I need somebody here in Dallas that I can. All right, we're gonna play this. See what it's gonna do.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
By the way, my rap name is The Word. So that's my MC name.
The Word. Think music.
Allahu Akbar, I Jamel, Uja Braille, play the trumpet and C4. Clarity, insight, inshallah, I shall proceed to shine like a star. Tammuz rise up in Ishtar and kill bacteria like black Russian tar. Shilligent, diligent, nobility spar with the devil at the same time, raise the bar. Above par is the locale where the gods are. Lay shellacking on the mutant like Velspar and control polarities like LR, the Fulcrum Point steer car. In jar, you can't contain the word or in jar. Enjoy your short reign while my chariot park. The mothership is coming like a V12 humming on the Biru coming. Standing on the summit like the Mendez gold while I point up the stock market plummet. The elite vomit up the lies that they stomach, start stumbling and bumbling while the world around them crumbling. Crazy am I, no just focus eye like the lens on your Fuji. We shoot high. Miles, Dewey, Davis, trumpet in the ends cry. The Word, Jah, Brill, John 1, Johann said he saw the end come with a new earth and a new heaven. where the L is even, no more treason, cause young souls are now seasoned, imbalances are now reasoned. The vulture wings spread and warmed by the sun, shoots its rays through the carbon man's dreads. The word, ja, brill, ja, brill, ja, brill, ja, 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 brill, ja, brill, ja, brill, ja, ja. And no man could learn that song, but the 140.
This is all one song,
which were redeemed from the earth. The minor skirmishes that the world witnesses is Hegelian in nature, is what the business is. There's a particle that lives in the blood of an ancient godly people who pre-existed the flood. Some say they were covered by mud or tectonic plate shifts. They were familiar with flying ships. By the way, they had pharaoh hair, wide nose and thick lips. Careful, Jamal, don't let the secret slip. In Bible scriptures, if you know how to read them right, you can find the hidden pictures. For example, they had one gnosis called the Tower of Babel. The usurpers took the knowledge and scrambled. I'm not talking eggs, more so people's heads. The immune system depends on the food man is fed. If the nutrients ain't right, it will sink like solid lead and leave his chakra stuck in red. Ezekiel saw his will and the wield, and he raised up like a serpent with his sword and shield, and stood atop a mountain in the heart of Asheville, where original man's blood flows downhill. I'm from around the way near US 64, that's Batcave. In nocturnal laboratories, the word is made. The cipher is a verb. Movement bursts the sun in I. The one is the modifier, states comply. That's 2 through 10. Every corner that you bend is a Kabbalistic path, yet the road never ends. From Kether to Malkuth, it's just us, me and you. Spaceships and foreign coups, etheric bodies in earth suits. Just us. The aleph is a plus and a multiplier. In high science we trust souls on fire. Just us. Juxtaposed with the mantle and the crust, earth, wind, and fire flows from Aquarius's cups. Just us. Ma'at stands to balance scales. Anubis leads a flock through the burning hell. I open, I scoping, not for when I feel strong, when limbs may bend, but I know who when. Just us. Every bone, every muscle, every ligament is said. His legendary status, the synapses in his head. Never stop firing the word when it's read, or recite it, tickle the emotions of the dead. Raise priest up, levitate the masses, ignite fire, elevate the classes. Before you Google me, put on your crown and your glasses. Clarity, insight, cut like insights. Illumine magi, rise like kites. Traverse the Milky Way on cold winter nights. As Pluto returns, Babylon burns like a torch touching gas, leaving dust in a urn. And from these ashes and Titan clashes, a new world emerges in utopian fashion. A golden age spoken of by an old sage, whose signature is cryptic on the epoch's page. Stamped and sealed, the world to come, a path is laid. But whether souls dance and sing in the parade, whether label indigenous or a former slave, a feast is prepared, make thy presence made. I am that I am, legendary. 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 Melusine, melanine, cortisol, adrenaline. Mixed with compressed cold forms of diamine. My mind all in all is mental. Rogues and robes try to raid this temple. Devils unmasked pointing blocks at their temples. The global reset will be awful monumental. The wheat separated from the tare, I swear. Those who ain't sincere had best beware. Those who try to taint this hair shall end the clear. For all to see this I foresee. Whether written English, Arabic, or Farsi. The legs understand while on top I overbe. I am that I am. Legendary. I am that I am. Legendary. I am that I am. Legendary. I am that I am. Legendary.
I'm gonna slow it down and drop some science here to finish it out.
The zero in the cipher suffers. The one that bears the light illuminates the others. Like a lamppost at night. Lucid dreams detail the flight of the kite. We've lived in prose. Now man is poised poetically to compose a new world to come based on the path that he has chose. Prometheus is free from chains, now his skin glows with every gray hair that is laid. And solar returns add to my age. I scribble different content on my page. Clearer eyesight is the fortune that I've made. Its value no dollar amount can shade. No can a narcissist's opinion fade. And I plan to pass this on. Through the raising of my seeds, the verses of these songs, the literature I pen, the vessels that I hone. The word is the vision that is forever known. And the world may not get it till 2030, cause I live in the future. Uranians are early, yeah. Dunlap told me that melodic minimalism is where it's at. He also said simple boom bap is a trap, and that a jazz mind never has a cap. The wider the scope, the less restricting the rope of limited thought that could hinder the dope. When the process is progress, poetic roses ooze fragrance that permeates noses, and the light bearer knows this. We'd like to officially welcome you into the Aquarian age. And we are the sound that will guide you into the future. On behalf of Dap Dunlap, I am the Word, and we are Think Music.
Yo, I just want to thank all of y'all for allowing me this space to be the many faces that I am. I cannot be one thing. I'm not just an astrologer. I'm not just a writer. I'm not just a metaphysical teacher. You know, I'm a little bit of a lot of things. And it's been a lot of suffering in life because of that. You know, I showed my chart to my members of 720 Astrology, and I showed them my chart is what they call a splash. It's like somebody threw paint on the chart. Planets are all spread out. And I often lament because I wish I could have been like some of my other classmates or people I came up with who they found one thing they could do and they just locked in on that. I have several things that my mind be, and I can see them all at one time, and it's hard. So for you all to sit attentively and give encouragement and allow me to be what I am, and people always try to give me a label for what they think I am. People think all I do is sit around and read books. People think I'm just an astrologer. And that's how you know when people don't know me. You know, So I appreciate you all on this late on a Saturday evening to sit and allow me to present all these different facets, you know. So I appreciate you. And you know, if you wanna, you know, rock with us, you see where we at. Thank y'all. Thank you. Go to time that said labels are disintegrating with Saturn's transit. Yes. Thank you, Goddess Natalia. Thank you. But yeah, if y'all want to rock with us, we quietly got offerings, you know. We're not good self-promoters, you know, but you know, that's where we at. We on thinkmusic.bandcamp. You can find our catalog, and I'm gonna bring Dap on here and we're gonna have a conversation. Also, as always, you know, you can go to my site 720astrology.com. I got a myriad of offerings, from readings to coaching to my bundle to you signing up for our classes that we do. All types of things to help you along your journey. But other than that, I'm going to wrap it up. And all of y'all are A1 official. I appreciate you. And remember, know the stars and know yourself. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. We'll get something let's see what we got. Anything? We'll leave something just to ride out on. I like this. I'm gonna put some bars to this.